Why does a 36-year-old captain from a landlocked West African nation have the Pentagon on edge? Why is France clutching its colonial pearls over a man with no nukes, no G7 seat, no offshore billions, no Netflix deal? This is At the Proper Perspective, and we're exposing why Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traoré is the West's newest persona non grata. Why is Ibrahim Traoré, leader of Burkina Faso, getting the full villain treatment in Western media playbooks usually reserved for oil-rich rogue states or breakaway presidents who forget who owns the puppet strings? Could it be because he's not playing by the script? Because for once, someone's not asking for permission to liberate their own people? Because, God forbid, a black man stood up, squared his shoulders, and said, "No more"? Traoré doesn't have a superpowers arsenal behind him. What he does have is vision, loyalty from the ground up, and a spine, one that doesn't bend when neocolonial bankers and diplomatic bootlickers come knocking. And for that, the West is big mad. Now you'll hear all the familiar buzzwords: authoritarian, pro-Russia, undemocratic, all of it dressed up as concern for security and human rights. But scratch the surface, and it's the same old imperial panic, a black nation refusing to be a client state. Let's call it what it is. Traoré flipped the chessboard, and the West is scrambling to find its pieces. He expelled French troops. He tore up defense agreements that reeked of colonial aftertaste. He helped build the alliance of Sahel states with Mali and Niger, real regional power, not PR photo ops. He's moving toward ditching the CFA franc, France's financial leash disguised as a currency. He's partnered with Russia and Turkey, not out of ideology, but out of necessity. Because when your house is burning, you don't wait for the arsonist to offer a fire hose. And yet, headlines focus on the negatives, on the conscriptions, on the suppression of dissent, on how this isn't the utopia they want to sell back to Africa through NGOs and Netflix specials. So let's address the elephant in the propaganda room. Yes, there are reports of forced conscriptions. There are stories of dissent being clamped down on. But before we start clutching pearls, let's be real. What state has ever stabilized itself without confronting internal sabotage or demanding national service? When America wanted independence, it drafted. When France faced unrest, it cracked down. When the U.S. had uprisings over the murder of George Floyd, cops in tanks rolled into cities like it was Fallujah. So, if conscription or crowd control suddenly justifies foreign intervention, then maybe NATO should have seized Minnesota too. Let's not play selective outrage. If you're seeing the pattern, subscribe now to At the Proper Perspective and share this video, because every time a leader like Traoré emerges, the empire strikes back. Smash that bell, stay ahead of the propaganda. We'll be watching. Will you? Burkina Faso is fighting on multiple fronts against jihadist insurgents, against corrupt elites still loyal to old colonial masters, against NGOs and media operatives that function more like soft power intel units than humanitarian organizations. So no, Traoré's government isn't handling this with the decorum of a Swiss embassy, nor should we expect it to. This isn't brunch politics. This is post-colonial triage. All revolutions face malcontents. Some are confused, some are bought, some are agents of chaos. You don't tame a captured state with lullabies and TED Talks. You secure the perimeter, you fortify the house, and then you can talk reform. The West knows this because it lives by this. So its outrage isn't moral, it's strategic, it's hypocritical. And it's aimed at protecting the old order, not the people of Burkina Faso. So to my people in the West, Black Americans, Afro-Canadians, Afro-descendants in Central and South America, Caribbeans, this moment matters. Because they're not just targeting a leader, they're targeting a model. A model that says African nations don't need colonial babysitters to survive. A model that says you don't have to sell your soul to build your country. They want to kill the model before it spreads. This is why every biased op-ed, every carefully worded UN concern, every think tank panel on the Sahel crisis sounds like déjà vu. It's Iraq in a new dialect, Haiti in a fresh font, Libya 2.0 but make it landlocked. They keep asking, is Traoré democratic? Wrong question. Ask instead, who did democracy ever serve in a colony still run by the former landlord's rules? Ask, why are puppet autocrats celebrated as stabilizers if they serve the West, but called threats when they serve their own people? Ask, why do we only see African dignity framed as dangerous when it refuses to be filtered through Paris or D.C.? We know why. Because Traoré represents the most dangerous kind of black man, the kind who can't be bought. He isn't reciting revolution, he's executing it. And while some nitpick his methods from their comfortable distance, he is doing what centuries of betrayal have taught us must be done by any means necessary. So no, this isn't hero worship. This is recognizing a fault line when it opens. This is seeing a moment that, if left undefended, will be erased in the next cycle of regime change, propaganda, and pre-packaged democracy. Let this roar echo across the Sahel and rattle every colonial vault in Paris. We see you, Captain Traoré. Your defiance blazes brighter than their lies. And mark my words, they see it too. Every flinch of their propaganda machine, every hissed threat from their puppet mouths, betrays their fear. A free Africa is their nightmare. And you, Captain? You're the reckoning they never saw coming. Like, comment, share. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and armor up, because the Empire's next move drops soon, and you better believe we'll be here to break it down. This is, at the proper perspective, stay unbreakable and unapologetically revolution ready.